We're here in Storm Watch, Ilocos Sur 2023. I don't think we're gonna make it. Look at all that rainwater. And I'm not showing you this just so you're impressed by how hard the rain comes down here. What I want to really show you is this. Look at our lot where we're building our house. Do you see puddles of water there? No. Look at that. It's pretty much dry. And the only reason for this is this wall. Right here, these retaining walls that go all around our property. 1.2 meters down. Kept this dry by keeping this out. Here's your proof, people. This really works. So if you're coming here and you don't know how to build your fence, you don't know how to build your house, this is it right here. 1.2 meters down. Look at that. Dry. Not dry. Happy. Sad. Hey everybody, welcome back to the blog and welcome if you're new here. I'm Brandon and Wila is probably at home. Well, I know she is, taking care of our baby that's in her belly. But I'm over here on our build site. It's been a hot minute since I've seen you guys, so I just wanted to catch up and give just a little bit of an update of what's been going on here. If you can see behind me, you can see all this gravel. And what's happened is we have backfilled almost to completion the whole house, all three sections. So section 1 is bedrooms 1 and 2. Section 2 is the kitchen and the living room. And section 3 is the master bed. So right now I'm standing on bedrooms 1 and 2, and you can see that we've got those plumbing pipes sticking up out of the gravel there with a little bit of rebar surrounding those. That's because we're getting ready to pour the floors here pretty soon, probably in the next couple of weeks. And then behind me here is the kitchen and the sala, and then behind that is the master bed. So let's go take a look over at the master bedroom and I can kind of give you an idea of what we've had to do here. So the gravel is one of the last things that you do just before you pour. Before we even put the rebar on, we're going to have to put a vapor barrier across all the areas that will receive some cement flooring. But right here we're standing in the master bedroom and you can see what they call gabor. This is dirt mixed with some rocks, and we've just been filling up this whole section with this material. And about every 6 to 8 inches we use our compactor here, so we can just pack this thing down as tight and as hard as possible, because like I've said from the beginning, foundation is everything, which is why we did our fence walls the way we did and why we did our house foundation the way we did. But right here we're working on the top layer of the gabor, and once we get that all the way across to the other side, then we'll hit that with the compactor and fill it in with whatever other gabor we need to, and then top it off with the cracked gravel right here. Over here, this is the plumbing section of the master bedroom, and if you notice over there in the corner we've got sand. So what that's for is we put that all the way around every pipe, underneath, on the sides, and on top. And we do that because when we compact with our machine here, we want to make sure that any of the rocks that are in the soil aren't touching the pipes at all. So when it receives the compacting, no hard material is going to be touching the pipes and potentially crack it as we're compacting. So we do that as a layer of protection. And also, if there was ever any seismic activity, you know, like an earthquake or something like that, and there was a little bit of shifting, that gives a little bit of a cushion, allows for the same protection. Now, one thing I do want to mention regarding backfilling the floor sections of the house And the reason why we use the compactor, like I said, it's to give the ultimate strength. And so let me give you an example of what it looks like when you pour cement and you don't pack the ground underneath, and what problems that leads to in a very, very short amount of time. Okay, so the reason why we compact all the ground in any floor section or in any section that you're going to put any sort of concrete pouring, we want to have, like I said, strong foundation. And so the example that I want to show you of what happens when you do not compact the ground like you're supposed to when pouring cement is because of our road. So let's turn the camera around. Let's take a look at our road, which was, they started pouring that in May of 2022. Now it's June of 2023. This road is about 1 year old. Being that this is all raw land, only one neighbor besides us has started construction on their house. But because of all the delivery trucks coming up and down the road pretty much on a daily basis, and because there was no compacting of any soil before pouring of this road, this thing it was in its best condition on day one. Since then, yeah, you be the judge. So here we are. We're on our road, and it was definitely not compacted. And I don't know if you can notice, pretty sure you can, this huge crack that just continues and does not stop. So here's our house on the left, and here's our road right down the middle. And here's that crack to go right along with it. So on the left side of the road, side that our house is on, seems to be pretty level. But on the right side of the road, it seems to be breaking apart and not only sinking because there's a big bow in the road, but just cracking and falling off. And that is because no compacting. It is because all the delivery trucks, and it is because of any rain. You can see this crack right down the middle, and you can see this crack all along the side. And so if it's this way in just 1 year, what's it going to be like a year from now? The people that poured it, are they going to take care of it? Very doubtful. So who's going to be responsible? Well, me and anybody else that bought property on this road. This is why you always compact where you're going to pour cement. Always do it the right way. Always do it right the first time, so you only do it one time. I haven't told you guys already, and if you haven't noticed already, we have completed all of the roof beams for the entire house. It's pretty cool because now, you know, we got these roof beams up and we've got the floors down below, and now this thing's starting to take shape. So what we need to do now is order our AAC block, and then we can start putting these walls up, and then it's really going to start feeling like a home. And then behind me here, you can see the garage. Right now they're working on the rear wall of the garage. You can see that these low sections of hollow block. But then as we pan up, you can see that Sherwin's been working on the roof framing. So he's got that finally all welded in, all welded together. But with our original generator, we did not have enough power to do the welding that Sherwin needed up here with all these ironworks. Because the power line that was supposed to be brought to the end of our street stopped somewhere off in the distance, I did not want to pay the extra money that it would take to buy poles, have them installed, buy all of the wiring for permanent fixture, do that just to get all this welding done. It would have taken too much time, and time is not one thing that I have right now. So we ended up getting another Greenfield generator, but with twice as much power. So I feel like I'm a spokesman for them at this point. So Greenfield, if you're out there, if one of your representatives is watching, you guys helped me build my house. Well, let's talk. Let's build more things together. And with putting up all the roof beams, we are finally able to take down all of this scaffolding, and I can send that back to where it came from so I don't have to continue paying for it, because we've got quite a bit of it. But we're still going to need to keep a few pieces to climb up and get access to the roof, when we start putting that on. And next week I've got Richard Armstrong's welder coming out. He's going to take all measurements based on the plans that we have, and then what I can do is reach out to the roofing companies so they can send their people out, take measurements, and then they can start giving me their quotes, and we can start a little bidding war. So whoever's got the best quality at the best competitive price, you win. But like I said, we've got the back wall of the garage being worked on. The guys have already put on 3 layers of hollow block. We're probably going to go up maybe 1 or 2 more because we're going to have a really long window on the back here just to let a lot of natural light in, just because we think it'll look cool. With that, like I said, we'll go about 2 or 3 more levels of hollow block, which means that we are going to have to drill into the column on the left and the column on the right so we can put a lintel beam and we can pour that. Once we get that poured, will be where the top of the window goes, and then we can continue the brick layers all the way up to this rear beam. This roof beam that you see here on the back, it looks a little bit pregnant, but with some plastering, my guys are going to make it look like it was never there. And speaking of plastering, let's go to the garage side on the outside of the garage, and I can show you what the guys did there. So in an effort to get as much done in little time as possible, I ended up hiring a couple more guys. I got 2 more skilled guys and 1 more laborer, and the 3 of them as a team have been plastering on the garage side of the garage outside, and it looks absolutely amazing. These guys have done such a good job. I mean, the edges on everything is so straight. The thickness is just perfect. They got everything perfectly leveled. I mean, it looks absolutely great, and that's just a sign of things to come, because they'll continue. Once we start putting up the hollow blocks for the fence, it'll be that same team that puts all the plastering on and is going to make everything look so good on the inside and out. Typically here in the Philippines, for whatever reason, when people build their homes and they put up their fences, they do not do this type of plastering on the outside. Usually they will just leave it looking like bare hollow block, probably because they'll never look at it. However, we're going to do things differently because we've been doing them different this whole time. So what we're going to do is we are going to plaster. We're going to plaster on the inside, the outside, and on the top, because we want complete protection, not only from the sun, but from all the different weather that will be coming through over the course of time. This is our investment, and we really, really, really want to protect it, because this house is not just for us. It's not just for me and Willa. It's not just for our baby boy that's on the way, but also for his children. We want this thing to last generations, because we want this to be the family home. And so it's really important that this structure just stands the test of time. Everything is going to get plastered, weather protected, and painted, and looking pretty. You know, as always, you think of last minute ideas, and one of the last minute ideas that I thought of was, because where I'm standing right now is on our neighbor's property. We don't know what the neighbor's going to do. Is the neighbor going to backfill, or are they just going to leave it the same level? And so we just want to assume that they're going to backfill. So if they do backfill and they match the height that we're at, that means that the section here of hollow block that you see would get covered with backfill. And so one thing I don't want to do is have any hollow block underneath the ground and succumb to any moisture damage or just anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a form from this corner all the way to the back corner, and we are going to continue from the ground all the way up to the bottom of where you see the plastering, and we're going to make that solid concrete, so it'll have just that extra layer of protection. Protection is everything. You know, if you protect it, it will last a lot longer. Spirit of protection, you know, on the front of the house we had made our retaining wall higher than the street here, but we have on the sides and the back, the retaining wall for the fence is lower, about 1 foot lower. From the beginning, I always knew that we would be doing the hollow block for the fence last. And so what that's done is that has allowed me the space to put more concrete on the sides and back. That way we can bring them up to level with the retaining wall in the front. So what that'll do when we backfill on the inside, if we decide to make changes in the future, or even if we don't, there's not going to be any raw hollow block underground susceptible to any moisture damage. So we'll bring that all the way up. And it'll also be nice because the way that the electrical conduit was run, we don't have to put hollow block on that and just cover it up with a bunch of mortar. We can just cover it up with solid concrete, and that will never ever have any chance of getting damaged. What we'll do is we'll have a raised walkway going along the front into a patio here, and it'll wrap around and go all the way to the gate. As well, it'll continue down this walkway here, and again all the way around the back. And initially we thought that we were going to cover this whole area with cement as well, but now we're taking into consideration maybe putting stone pavers, because with stone pavers it'll actually have a little bit more give to it. So let's say there's an earthquake or just the ground shifts, instead of the concrete cracking, at least with these stone pavers, just imagine them the size of small bricks and putting those everywhere. Maybe one of them cracks, so easy to replace. You don't have to dig out a section to pour fresh concrete. Just for the eye, it'll just give just another dimension and kind of a design aspect. We're trying to figure out what would be the best stone paver to match up with concrete. If you guys have any ideas out there, if you guys have done any stone pavers, it'd be great if you could send us some pictures or just drop us a message down in the comments section below and let us know what experience that you have. But like I said, we've got roof beams up, we've got floors backfilled and ready to pour. This place is starting to take shape. We'll get the AAC block ordered and delivered here probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Once we put those blocks up on top of all the poured floors, now we got ourselves a house. And then after that, all we got to do is all of the finish work. That means the fence surrounding the house. That also means any sort of painting that we do inside of the house, any appliances, any fixtures, like lighting, switches, all that electrical stuff. Plus, we got to start thinking about all the sinks that we're going to have for all of the restrooms, for the laundry room, for the kitchen, the oven, the exhaust fan for that as well. So we're definitely going to do the most Western style house that we possibly can here. It's all about comfort and familiarity, and that's what I grew up with and kind of what's going to happen over here. But any ideas, like I said, that you guys have, let us know down in the comments section below. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thanks for all the best wishes regarding our wedding, regarding the baby, and regarding this house build. Your guys' support means a lot to us, and it definitely keeps us motivated and keeps us pushing, because I know there's a lot of you out there that have dreams of building your own home, or dreams of building your own family, or dreams of moving somewhere else and just starting and creating a better life. And anything that we can do to help you, any suggestions that we can give you, feel free to ask us. We've got a little bit of experience under our belt, especially here in the Philippines. So if you guys are out here or getting ready to come out here or have a desire to come out here, let us know. We'd love to help you as best as possible. And if anybody is moving to Ilocos Sur, that's going to be our neighbor, definitely hit us up. We would love to get to know you and have a conversation. So until then, you guys be good. Take care.